Welcome, guys. It is Thursday night, and that means it is championship racing once again here at SARCO. Welcome. The guys in the background have just started their qualifying with me in the commentary box. I do have Ashley. Ashley, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you, and Dylan, and welcome to all the viewers out there. Yes, another evening of good racing coming up. We're at Brands Hatch, one of the favourite circuits in England. And I'm looking forward to this race. I think it's going to be pretty close. This race track is a bit bumpy. It's known for its narrow sort of, track. So it's going to be very interesting. And these cars are pretty wide. So we're going to see some very interesting racing tonight. And I'm looking forward to it.
So you can hear in the background that the guys have started. And this is definitely not the SARCO HQ. Behind me, we're actually in the living room of Terry Wolford, who is very happily offered me his internet. So Terry, how's it? Give us a little wave there because I can see your headset is off. So yes, we are currently at the Wolford residence doing our stream. The generator is working. It will be with us next week, so at least we won't have to put any guys out. So while the guys get going, we can get rid of our faces, Ashley, and start seeing at some of the current times. As you are going to have to help me, unfortunately. The screen in front of me is a little bit smaller than expected, so I can make out there's a couple of zeros there. We have seen that Ross has just joined us on the screen, and he's saying the cat is back. And I must say that we have really missed Ross, our Scottish international, one of the original SARCO members, to race with us. Great to have him back.
I was wondering for a moment where he had gone. So obviously he was on a holiday or something, but glad he's back and joining us tonight. I already saw some times come from him. He's looking pretty quick, so he's going to be very competitive tonight. If you go back to the privateer, we see Andrew's now posted time. Actually, Johan VDD with the quickest time so far of a 1:32 flat, just about, and not far behind him, only a tenth behind him at the moment is Andrew, followed by Colin in third position. So already a close battle at the front of the pack. So let's see how the rest of this qualifying goes with only 5 minutes left on the clock. Johan is about to post his next lap time. Let's see if it goes well around this corner. Pretty smooth around there. We'll follow him for the rest of the lap. Goes a bit wide there, touches the grass, and I think that's now invalid lap. Just looking on the race feed here. Yeah, so he's gonna have to unfortunately do that all over again.
So I must say, this is definitely not one of my favorite tracks. And generally, the guys, I wouldn't say mock me, but they do know that I battle here. It's that back section that really freaks me out. I just never feel comfortable there. I see Richard Berner, he's joined us on the stream as well. Richard, you're supposed to be racing, but fantastic that unless you're in East London, then that does answer a whole bunch of other questions. But glad to have you with us.
Yeah, that's right. There's some big racing on this weekend in East London. Some of the big guns are coming out. I've seen a lot of AC Cobras today while I was driving around. Those are the cars that are probably going down to the racetrack. I'm not sure what else is going to be there, and unfortunately no spectators allowed. So it's going to be, I'm going to be very jealous of the guys who can go. And maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to sneak in somewhere, but I never said that.
Well, I could tell you something. Even though you think that there's going to be racing in East London, on a Saturday, myself and some of the guys that we will be seeing in racing later on, we're going to be entering the F400 challenge race this coming Saturday, hosted by the F400 guys, and I'm really looking forward to get myself behind the steering wheel. Once again, we're going to have the likes of Jakes Fatikaki, Bruno Kadili. He's going to have a special appearance, so he will be joining us and part of the SARCO Invitational team. as well as Rudy Bass. Unfortunately, we did have Marius, who was going to be joining us, but due to Marius not being well, the doctor did advise that he not partake in the event. So his former teammate, Bruno Cadilli, had stepped up from the Silverback Racing, and he said that he would come and join us. So really, really awesome to get Bruno in that kart with him.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous. I'm so keen to get back on the track again, but fortunately my turn will come not this weekend but next weekend. We'll be doing our series, our border series here in East London. So just going back to the top of the field. Yep.
I'm just looking at the times here. It looks like we've lost 2 drivers, because I see we're only on to 8 drivers, and I'm sure we started with 10, because I'm not seeing Mal Jacques. He's
That's
definitely
right.
missing out there. And Colin.
Okay, we've just had 2 drivers now join again, so they have managed to reconnect. It was Brandon and Colin. It looks like it's disconnected there. So although they won't be able to get a time in unless they fly out the pits now, yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. So if they do get a time in, I'm hoping it's going to be at least a competitive time, so that they back to where they should be in the starting grid.
And what I was going to say is, I see we're actually watching the Horne dog, and just before we went live, his power went off, so Andrew was scrambling to get that generator up and running so that he could get himself racing, and here he is.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. He's not only the quickest generator starter, he's also the quickest on track at the moment.
So once again, I'm seeing the 2 Andrews right up again. Brandon Santos getting a little bit of too much curb on the inside there. Daniel War Machine, he's joined us as well, and saying good evening, checking out all the way from the States. So definitely our number 1 fan from the States. I would say that he's more than welcome to claim that.
Yeah, please, and if you got a steering wheel and if you got this game, Project Cars, come and join us. It might be a bit of a time difference, but if you are able to, come and join us. We are always looking for new drivers to participate with.
Yeah, so we are definitely trying to get Daniel to join us, but exactly what you're saying is that while we are having our racing evening, Daniel's still currently at work.
Come on, Daniel, take the day off. It's only a Thursday. What do we call it in South Africa? Puza Thursday?
It's Puza Thursday.
Yeah. So Brandon goes over the line, so he just crossed the line with enough time left on the clock. And he'll be going on his flying lap now, so hoping those tyres will be up to temperature. I know this car does take a couple of laps before the tyres really get up to optimal temperature, but let's see if he manages to pull a lap through. I see Colin, as he's still in the pits, so he hasn't really bothered going out. He's quite content starting at the back of the grid this evening. But if I go back to the top of the field, the Horne dog at the moment sitting in a pole position with a 1 minute 30.7, and 4/10 behind him is Andrew Ambergonioni, followed by our new driver, Foot Fiery, 322 in 3rd position.
Yanaman's definitely come and joined the series, and he's thrown himself very much up the top there. But really great to see that we're finding these drivers, so not coming out of the woodwork, but who have been hiding in the South African online landscape for the last couple of months, and here they are. Ooh, that's Johan VDV just retiring and putting himself in the pits before he smashes that wall.
So let's go back to Brandon and see what time's going to post here. After being disconnected and only getting 1 lap in. I'm not sure where he finished there, but okay, so you got an 8th position, not too bad for going out on cold tires. And also a controller. Let's not forget that he's not racing with the steering wheel, he's using the old controller still. So a good time there from him.
How much time do we have left there on the clock there, Ashley?
I think that's it. We're about to head into the race now.
All right.
Just got to remind the guys that this is a rolling formation lap.
So while you do that, I'm going to quickly run up to the gents, because I have been frantically getting myself ready for this. So please stand by, we'll be back.
Guys, whoever's just Tyler, if you could just wait for it to fill in.
Tyler, can you hear me? Tyler, can you hear me? Alright, guys, okay, yeah. Can you guys hear me? It's too late now. You won't get into Charlie either.
Okay guys, sorry it took me about 20 seconds longer than expected. Don't forget to wash your hands for 20 seconds.
I know in the UK you have to sing happy birthday while you wash your hands, because apparently that's the correct time. You know, to get a clean, refreshed. Just tell Terry that they must do a formation lab. I couldn't get through to them.
So guys, we are waiting for the start. The guys are talking in the background. We do know that we will be doing a formation lap. Sorry guys, I haven't checked what's happening on the Facebook page. Let me just pop in there while we getting those last setups. Oh man, some of the comments that I'm hearing in the background. So actually, I don't know if you're able to just monitor the Facebook page at all. I'm just worried by me pulling lots and lots of megabytes here with Terry racing in the background and me streaming all at the same time.
Okay, I will do that.
So it looks like when I left, it was actually Janneman that got himself ahead of Johan VDV.
Yeah, well, just before you left, he was in third position, and Johan unfortunately made a mistake on his last qualifying lap, and he had to abort that one. But Terry up into 5th position. No pressure, Terry.
Now to the guys who have just joined us on the stream, this is the first of 2 races that we will be streaming this evening. Directly after this race, we will be going into the Bravo tier. And looking at the time, actually, we are probably about 2 minutes behind schedule, considering we had a 7-minute delay in our start. So that is absolutely fantastic to see.
Yeah. Just looking on the Facebook, no comments as of yet, but it's still early days. We've still got 38 minutes left of this race. But just a reminder to the viewers, they're doing a formation lap. We just find it's a little bit easier for the guys to do a manual formation lap. So everybody starts relatively behind, single file. And it just prevents those first corner incidents, which ruins most of the guys' races. So they'll be lining up now. The Horne dog will be just backing up the pack. So getting the guys ready. And the back of the field, side by side. Dylan, take it away.
So that is a green light, and we are racing here. Brands Hash round number 1 in the Bravo tier. As the guys go down into turn number 1, you're going to see a lot of guys just holding that line through there, which is exactly what you want to be doing. Somebody a little bit wide there. It looks like that's Tyler Scott up into 4th place, so he's been able to get himself around Janneman. Terry down in 6th place, so he's lost a position there. So Tyler, absolutely fantastic start there for him. You can see a single file for all the drivers. With that was the Horne dog in 1st place. They are now going through the Pilgrim's Drop. They'll go through Hawthorne Hill, one of my dreaded corners, because I've never felt comfortable coming through this section at all. But a little kick on the rear there for Tyler as he transitioned from off the brakes onto the power. Now through a Dingle Dell, now through a Sheen Curve. You can see that the guys will be taking a lot of the inside curve there. I saw Brandon. There's a car in the background there in 9th place. That is Dane, I believe. You can see he's starting to drop down the order. In through the last corner. Tyler having a look to the inside. That was very close there between himself and Janneman. So Tyler had a little touch of the cars further down the order there.
That was our new driver, Foot Ferry, getting involved with Colin there. The two came together. I think he just got out of shape on the last corner there, and that's put him off the race line. As he came across, Colin was there, and unfortunately they came together. But a good start so far from Tyler, and he's moved right up to 4th position. And Johan, who's managed to work his way up to 1 position to 3rd. But the Horne dog opening up a 2-second gap already on the 3rd lap.
So I've just seen a very interesting thing coming up on the screen there. Actually, Terry going into the pits. Actually wonder whether he's not trying to do a bit of a cutback here, because I'm pretty sure that that was literally a little splash and off he's going. So big tactics coming out from Terry Wolford here. Really, really awesome to see.
Yeah, I think what he's doing is just getting out of the traffic, because the guys are sliding in all over the show, because the tyres have maybe cooled down on their formation lap a bit, and you'll see the guys get a bit excited on the first lap, and that often ends up in tears. They just need to, keep it cool and calm, and just keep the car on the track. I think what Terry done is quite wise.
Tyler. That's the last corner, and that's a put of some of the drivers. That was extremely close there.
See, Brandon's picked up a bit of damage, so I wonder what's happened there.
Yeah, Brandon's car does not look comfortable at all.
So I'm just getting a message here on Facebook. Getting some heavy feedback there.
No, so that wasn't coming through on the stream, so obviously just that sound was coming through on your headset. But Tyler Scott in a 5th place, and we still have Janeman in a 4th place with Johan VDV in 3rd, Andrew Ambergonioni in 2nd place with Andrew Horne in 1st place, starting to open nearly 3 seconds between the two Andrews now. Brandon DeSantos, he's now going into the pits, obviously trying to go in and repair that damage, which means that Terry Wolford will now move up into 8th position. Then we have the battle. That's Tyler losing that rear up against the inside wall.
Tyler, oh, that's unfortunate. He had such a good start tonight. He's dropped back to 5th position.
So that was going through a sheen curve. Got the car unstable. All you needed to do was just make sure that you take a bit of that curb, because once the car lands on its wheels again, you can put that power on. But you can see that as Tyler didn't quite get the entry right and the car wasn't balanced before he got the power on, and that unfortunately just upset that rear.
Absolutely. Just got foot fire in shot here, and after that bad start that he had, he's now back up to 4th position, and he'll probably be chasing after Johan VDD. On that last lap he was just off half a second quicker than Johan. So let's see if he can close that gap, and you'll probably see it towards the end of this race, maybe applying a little bit more pressure to Johan. So Johan's just got to keep his head down, not worry about what's happening behind him, just be consistent and clean. And if you can do that for the rest of the race, you just might be able to pull off a podium here this evening.
Yeah, I must say that Johan VDV does have the potential to get into those podiums, but it's little moments like that, Johan VDV, that he finds himself in, and he ends his race when he's doing so well. So maybe we should just get off him. Let's go back to Johan to Janeman.
So let's see how well Terry's doing. He's obviously made a pit stop, so let's just check what his times are after that pit stop.
So Terry 134.3, so he's currently doing the same times as Johan VDV. I wonder if Terry can actually hear him in the background, because he needs to put those headphones on properly so he can't hear that we're talking about it.
Sorry, Terry.
Believe it or not, that's exactly what I've just seen him do. So Terry was listening, and I think we've actually ruined his race now, but now it's time for Terry to get his head down, start closing up. I think Andrew Ambergonioni has made a little bit of a mistake, because that distance between Andrew and Andrew is now 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, has grown a bit. The Horne dog pretty much all out in front at the moment. His own race to lose, but with this track anything can happen. As you were saying, Dylan, it's very bumpy, it's very tricky. Just one sort of dip in concentration and that's pretty much your race done. You either hit the wall, you are spinning, flying off into the kitty litter. So you know, with this gap that he has at the moment, he can afford to just to back off and just finish the race.
I know that Ross, so Quatch the cat, is extremely happy about driving this track, because he does feel that he gets a hometown advantage. And I know that Mal Jacques, he would have been racing, but he was in the lobby earlier, but there were some clashing issues. I'm not sure whether his power's gone off or he was battling to stay in the lobby. But he really enjoys this track, so it would have been absolutely fantastic to see him circulating around here.
So I wonder if he had maybe got taken off at the same time as Greg, because I see Greg, that's right, the 8-3, he was also got disconnected just before the race.
So the load shedding that we are currently experiencing is that even for myself is I had to find an alternative venue. But what happens is that those surrounding areas, if the guys are using LTE, because you're bouncing off cell phone towers, is that it does create a bit of havoc, because all of a sudden you're skipping essentially a whole residential area, and those lines then become unstable. Oh, great move there for Andrew. Brandon DeSantos, seeing that he was coming and just allowed enough space. Andrew saw the gap and slotted in there perfectly.
So just go back to Johan VDD and just getting some. That's what I said. I just said it very quickly.
Okay, cool. Got it. Listen, even in the beginning, I was calling him DVD. I'm like, oh wait, hold on, it's VDV, not DVD. So here's an interesting comment here from Ross. He's like, definitely home advantage. He's going to make a prediction of putting it fourth for this evening.
That's quite a ballsy statement, to say the least.
Hold on. The last time Ross did that, he put himself on the podium. So I think he has what it takes to do it.
Well, I was practicing with some of the guys yesterday, and I think Craig, who is a big fan of this track, will be very competitive tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a podium from him. He's been putting some extra time in, and he was actually kind enough to share his setup with me, and man, oh man, that setup is switched on. It's I did a couple of laps on it, and I managed to get within a second, or just half a second of his time, which was a 1:24.8, and that was race pace. So I think he's going to be, definitely attacking those podiums tonight. So let's see.
What we're seeing in front of us actually is Johanneman has started closing up on the back of Johan VDV. You can see there now, just on 2 seconds between the two. The times that they are doing, Johan losing out 0.6 of a second to Johanneman. So they will cross the line of 33.8 for Johan VDV, 33.3. So each driver is within 1/100th of a second in the last 2 laps. So both driving very consistently. It's just whether Johan will be able to keep on the defense once Johanneman starts closing up on him. I see Tyler's decided that he's going to go into the pits. So far on my records, we've got Tim, Tyler and Brandon who have both taken a pit.
Yeah, just go back to what you were saying about Fari catching your hand, and it's also difficult when you spot a guy in your mirrors and you start feeling the pressure. It's not easy. It's always easier for the guy behind you because he can see he's closing the gap, and he can see you start making mistakes. So that's when he knows. He knows that that he's in for the money. So let's see. But Johan has managed to keep it very clean so far. On that last lap, he was just half a second slower.
But like a little misgear there. I must say that what I really love, especially when you're chasing down the driver and you can't see the driver, then all of a sudden you go around their next corner and you see them just going into the corner. Then the next lap they're a car length away from the corner. The next lap, and all of a sudden you start gaining those couple of hundredths of seconds. I absolutely love that, because that's what like really gets me fired up and start having that chase.
Yeah, I mean, for the guy in front, he's relaxed, he's in a groove, he's like chilling a bit. Then all of a sudden you get this little flash in your mirror, and you're thinking, oh no. So from both points of view, it could be quite tricky.
And I'm the type of driver that will get up behind you and just give you a little reminder that I'm there. So as we jump down, this is Dane and Tyler. So Tyler trying to get himself around Dane. Dane a little bit slow going into the corner, which has now allowed Tyler to move on through the inside. So Tyler up into 6th place. Dane now dropping down into 7th. And now
Yeah,
next, that was for position.
Yeah, that was very strange. He just basically stepped out the way there. But maybe he knows that Tola's a little bit quicker than him at this stage. Maybe he has a different race tactic. So we'll see the strategy. Let's see that. Let's see what happens towards the end of the race. So now, as we say, there goes Dane. Oh, gets it sideways there. So he's not having a very good race so far.
See, Terry's been struggling. There's a 144 for Terry. So his plan to do the undercut hasn't quite worked at this stage.
Yeah, maybe just pushing a little bit too hard. But this, as you know, this track is all about being consistent and avoiding those mistakes. So we go back to the front of the field, and the Horne dog has pulled a further 2-second gap on Andrew Ambergonioni. So he's still in a commanding lead at the moment, and he's just lapped. I think that was 5th place driver Colin, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Colin seems to have also had his little run-in with the wall there.
No, I think it was somebody else.
I think that's Dane that he has lapped, because they both.
Oh yes.
The livery that Colin had,
yes,
Lugo and Dane, would be the same. The two of them driving for Daycol Racing. It is the father-in-law and son-in-law combination of the two. So just scanning down the order, and Johan VDV down into 4th by 7 seconds. So he's definitely had an off there. And see that Yanaman deciding that now's the time for him to go and do his pit stop. And followed by Johan VDV. So it's the some damage on Johan VDV's car. You can see on the rear. So not sure whether he had lost the rear there, put it up into the wall. But according to my records, so it's the Colin and Dane, as well as the two Andrews, still to put in the pit stop there. And you can see Yanaman, a little splash and dash, and off he goes.
Yeah, some serious damage at the back of that car. So I wonder if that was from the start, because I know he did drop back a bit on the start, and then managed to claw his way up to 3rd. Or maybe it was the bump that put him ahead. So he comes out the pits now, and he's in 4th position as Yanaman got ahead of him in that pit stop. Obviously didn't change tyres or put in the fuel. It was just basically a stop and go. Whereas I think Johan maybe would have tried to repair some damage. He may have had some suspension damage from that hit from behind, and just opted to take the repair, which sometimes can put you back. Will definitely put you back, should I say.
It all depends. If it's just the aero damage, and it's not worth. If it is just aero damage, and it is worth just getting it fixed, because the time that it takes is a lot less. Suspension damage, that would take a little bit longer, and if you've got engine damage, well, that's even worse.
Yeah, for sure.
So the whole idea is to not get damage at all, then you don't have to worry about those sort of variables in the pits.
Absolutely. Just for the viewers out there who are not familiar with the game, there is a possibility for you to change the pit stop settings while you're driving, but that often can be tricky. I mean, if you're trying to change the settings on a corner or something, and you're not paying attention, that sometimes can end up in your tears.
Yeah, I got myself all too familiar with how to do that, and I generally find myself doing that all the time. Is you'd set your pit stop and then just change whether you want to do the damage or not. But once you get Tyler going very wide down into turn number 1. Now into Druids. So for myself is I like to stay right up on that inside curb, and then get a much wider exit. So Dane going into the pits now. Daniel's saying that Torquay or Johan VDV's car was very fresh until he made that pit stop, so that was definitely something that happened later on. I think Dane will be getting some damage repair there, because that pit stop looked, it might have just been some of the aero stuff in the front. So Andrew in second place has 15.5 seconds to catch Andrew Horne, who's currently in this race on lap number 14 of this 40-minute race. 18 minutes left, and then we'll be getting ourselves into the Alpha tier. Just remember, the Alpha tier driving in a GT3 and a much more violent machine compared to this one.
Absolutely, actually a dream to drive. I'm well impressed with the car. I've really started to enjoy it. The first race not so much. I didn't do so well. Got a little bit too excited, but I hadn't had much seat time in it. But I did some practice reps this afternoon, and I feel very comfortable, and I'm hoping to get some points today.
Well, according to Ross, is that you're going to be coming 5th and under, and I'm sure that you're going to have the likes of Brandon Hills, Vaughan Hills, Marius and Jakes. They're going to be have other things. Pretty sure that Craig and Connor are also going to have something to say. So as I start saying these names, Ashley, how's your confidence feeling?
Well, I'm not expecting a hell of a lot of points. Maybe just some points, better than what I did last week, which was stone last. So I'm hoping maybe to get a 10th or maybe even an 8th position. Let's see.
Okay, so just to be clear, just remind you, we have Jakes, Marius. I forgot about Durkee. I forgot about Theo. Forgot about Lendl.
Hey, look, I'm not that slow. I'll try my best, but I'm sure I can get a couple of points today. If I just concentrate and I turn off all distractions, I think I can have a good race. Well, let's see. Famous last words.
Famous last words, 100%.
Yeah.
So looking at the timings, so Andrew Horne is still the fastest currently on the track. Then Andrew Ambergonioni, and then down in 7th place, that is Tilly Wilfred, who is going the 3rd quickest, just behind the time of Andrew there. So I think that if Terry hadn't made a couple of those mistakes earlier on, he would have been higher up. Considering he was trying that undercut earlier on. We know that Colin still needs to pit, so Terry might be able to get himself an additional position there, so that might put him up into 6th place. And then the 2 Andrews, they too will still need to pit.
Absolutely. So yeah, they both got a 1 minute over 1 minute advantage, over 1 minute 46 advantage over him, and Tyler in 6th place as well. But yeah, those 2 guys still need to pit. 3rd place runner we saw going into the pits earlier, and he was challenging. Let's see where Johan VDV is at the moment. He's about 10, 11, 12 seconds behind Janneman at the moment, and they're in 4th position, and just behind him in 6th position, sorry, in 5th position is Colin. So Colin, after having a dreadful start in the beginning, has managed to claw his way up to 5th position. And I think he's just been consistent, keeping the car on the track, and that's helped him to move up the race pack.
So I'm looking at the distance between Colin and Terry, and that's just over 33 seconds. So in terms of going to the pit, stopping, putting in that 1 or 2 liters, taking a 5-second stop plus coming out again, it all depends on whether that is 33 seconds or not. Otherwise, Colin might have Terry right on his bumper.
Yep. Just got a message here from Reeve on the Facebook stream. Load shedding got me out of racing in practice.
Oh
so,
my goodness.
sorry, Reeve.
Reeve, so sorry to hear that, man. But we'll definitely update you once that race is over. We'll be able to give the guys an update on what's happening in the Charlie tier. Running 3 tiers in this league currently. That was a very interesting camera angle there. Wasn't quite sure what cameraman Tim was doing, but nevertheless, he has been able to find Andrew.
No, that's right. Three different tiers, and unfortunately, the Charlie tier not being broadcast.
Just jump to 7th and 8th there. We have Terry chasing down Brandon Dos Santos. So I'm thinking that Terry may have made a mistake which allowed Brandon to get in front of him. And you see, as we go to Terry, I hope he's not listening in the background.
We should just leave Terry alone and carry on with this race.
Okay. What you do?
Brandon
just keep very, very quiet.
Poor guy. You've come into his house and you come in disturbing while he's racing. What's wrong with you, Dylan?
Oh no. Okay, let's move completely off Terry.
So back to Tyler Scott in 6th position. Just looking at his times there, he was a second, or should I say, just over a second quicker than Colin on that last lap. But still a 14-second gap to close, with 11 minutes left on the clock.
Yep, so there goes Andrew Ambergonioni. He's going into pit. We saw his
I did see that.
Little pit crew running. Are they in the camouflaged suits? Yes, they are. It's absolutely incredible.
Unbelievable. That was just a quick stop and go.
Little splash, the little 1 liter in your fuel tank, and that is the quickest way you're able to stop here in the game.
Yep. So he joins in between the battle of Brandon and Terry. Those guys will obviously see him coming, and then they'll be getting the blue flags to get out the way.
But now if Terry was smart, what he'd do is he'd get right up behind the back of Andrew and allow Andrew to pull him through, and that will allow him to make an easy overtake over Brandon ahead of him.
I'm sure with Terry's many years of race experience, he knows that already, did it.
Sometimes you gotta say the obvious, because it's obvious that not everybody knows the obvious, right? Isn't that obvious?
I suppose you're right.
Yeah, this is my worst corner right here, because you're braking on the blind corner. You see exactly, that's why.
Well, that obviously worked for Terry. Poor Brandon came together with one of the leaders. It's not what you want to do, but unfortunately these things happen. wasn't the best of places to overtake, but he did go a bit wide, and Andrew saw the gap and went for it. So terrible race for Brandon this evening.
So I'm still wondering when the Horne dog is going to do his pit stop. Oh, wait, no, he must have done it already, because both him and Andrew are down to 13 seconds again. So
yeah, that's right. So I think it was on the last lap, because if you look at his lap time, it was a 1:55.
Yeah, that's correct. Which means that it's just Colin to go, and between Colin and Terry, and we were saying that's about 33 seconds. If you look at the time, it's still 33 seconds. So Colin would still need to do his pit stop. And that's going to allow Tyler to advance up into 5th place. And depending on how quick Colin is in the pit stop, oh my goodness, Terry is going to be right there. We've just lost 2 drivers.
Yeah.
So that is both Brandon and Colin, who we've now just lost. These disconnections.
I think it wasn't power related, because it's almost that time. So that's put Terry up to 6th position. So Terry getting with a bit of a boost there. And his time's not so bad. I mean, he did a 1:33.4 on that last lap. What is that, the 3rd quickest?
Well, so far it's just Andrew Ambergonioni who's gone quicker than him.
Yeah.
The Horne dog a 1:38.9, which is I'd say close the gap by 3 seconds between Andrew Horne and Andrew Ambergonioni.
Yeah, so it was a pretty slow lap on that. If you look at that time, that the Horne dog did a 1:38.9. Whenever just a lack of concentration there, or maybe because of that glitch from the disconnect, could possibly have made a slight mistake there. But looks like he's okay. He's back up to speed again with that last lap of a 1:32.3.
So just over 6 minutes left of this Bravo tier, and just remember that coming up in the next couple of minutes or so, we will be having the Alpha tier driving in the Porsche 911 GT3R, a absolute fantastic car. When we see the confirmation that Colin disconnected, there's Brandon DeSantis disconnecting as well.
I just got a message here from Steven saying that load shedding got him as well. So that's 2 drivers that unfortunately have been zapped by load shedding
out of the Charlie tier.
Oh yes, that's right.
So both Steven and Reeve in the Charlie tier are both being affected by load shedding. So 5 minutes left to go as Andrew runs a little bit wide, but does manage to keep it on the track. And 14.5 seconds between the 2 Andrews. And it is Janaman currently in 3rd place, ahead of Johan VDB.
This race has fizzled out with the lack of cars on the track at the moment. It's only 7. Some are due to load shedding, some due to disconnection issues with the internet. It's not really what we wanted to see. We want to see close competitive racing. But unfortunately, the technology is not on our side.
All the electricity is not on our side. We have the technology. Four minutes left, so that's about 3 laps left of this race. So I'm pretty sure that Ross would have had the Alpha Tier up and running. Invites would have been sent out. The guys are patiently awaiting for myself and Ashley to join there. I must say, it has been an absolute incredible, cool, calm and collected drive by Andrew Horne. You can see a 131.9. So I think that he is now showing off, putting in those times later on in this race.
Definitely with the low fuel now, he can easily get those lap times.
I do know that he was saying that he was struggling with the grip on the car once the car went down to on the lower fuel, and that's because what happens is because the engine's at the back, the fuel tank is in the front, that you start just getting that sensation of understeer.
Yeah, I noticed that from my qualifying setup to the race setup, the car handles totally different, and that's, as you're saying, it's just the weights in the front.
So I've seen Peter Hardeman, he's now come up and say yes, it is obvious. So just remind me to go and watch him for a little bit while the Alpha Tier is going. No pressure there. And Brandon DeSantos saying yes, that he got disconnected as Johan touches that outside curb into turn number 1. Brandon saying that he saw Collins sitting on the track for 2 laps, and by that it was done. Dirkie is saying that yes, that lobby's up and running. Pity about all the DCs and the load shedding. It's definitely not what we wanted to see. And Theo, he's also joined us to say, how's it, boys? 2 minutes left, guys, and we will be heading on to the Alpha Tier. And I absolutely just love the time progression that has been set for this race. You can see now coming to that late afternoon, just enough time for the guys to put those lights on. You can see that those were the lights where somebody had disconnected. Oh, you had really big curb again.
True. Maybe I should get the camera off him. So that is Tyler, who's just been overlapped by, overtaken or lapped by the Horne dog. I think this will be penultimate lap for the Horne dog. As he comes down the last corner down the... Sorry, he's on the back straight now.
So now he'll go through Sheen now into Sterling's. That Sterling's is probably my favourite corner on this track, but everything else they can bloody well keep it. So through Clearways, now through Clark Curve, we'll ride with the Horne dog as he goes and takes us on a trip around the Brand Hatch GP circuit on the Brabham Straight, and you'll see just past there that exit is when the braking, and now down Paddock Hill Bend, getting that power on, letting the car run just off the curb, now into the Droods. You can see not as tight as I would have taken it, but it definitely has worked through him, down the Graham Hill, now into Graham Hill Bend, onto Cooper Straight. Very tricky little braking zone just as you go past the sign on the right hand side. You're braking in a straight line. I like to just trail brake, let the brakes come off slowly, turning it in up through Surtees. Now they'll head towards Pilgrim's Drop, down under the bridge, now through Hawthorne. See a little Kia down there, and now onto Derek Minter's Straight, then through Westfield. I'll take a lot of that inside curve there as well. You see Andrew staying very well off it, down a Dingle Dell and now through a Sheen curve. Again, staying off that curve, now through Sterling's for the last time. So through Clearways now for the last time, and the last corner on this track, through the Clark curve, and Andrew Horne will cross the line victorious. I'm sure he'll be absolutely ecstatic with that win. We will definitely chat to him in a moment with Andrew Ambergonioni. There you can see the final result. So Andrew Horne will finish with Andrew Ambergonioni in second place. It is Janneman place in third place with Johan VDV in fourth. Tyler Scott will come home in fifth place with Terry Wilfred in seventh, and Dane bringing it home for Daycall Racing in the seventh position. So I know that Vaughan Hills was saying this afternoon that he does have load shedding, so that means Brandon Hills will be the fastest hills on the planet this evening, specifically here on a Thursday night racing here at SARCO. I'm sure Brandon's very happy about that.
No, it definitely should be. I've just got confirmation that the group Alpha Tier lobby is ready, and I'll be making my way through to there. Thank you, Dylan.
Terry, Ashley, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. I must actually see if I could just not get Terry to do the cameras for me, considering he's here in the same room. It actually just makes sense. So to the Alpha Tier, I will be there shortly. Actually, what we'll do is that once I go in and just make sure that I'm not clashing with anyone, the guys can start the qualifying. So then I can do the interviews while the guys are getting ready and doing their qualifying, just so we can catch up sometime there.
Sure. Cheers. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye, viewers. Ciao.
So guys, I'm just inviting the two Andrews into the lobby so we can have a quick chat with them.
I don't spend much.
No, don't mean it in a nasty way, just so that you don't get so
Actually, it's you, because I think my biggest difficulty.
Needs to be the race for
Alpha Tier guys, yes, I need to be the broadcaster. I am just clashing with Dirkie, so I'm just going to go out quickly and come back in.
we need one tires.
Okie doke.
Dirkie, Dylan vra of jy gou kan uitglip en inkom.
Uitklip.
Kom ons hou hy vas.
Connor, yeah. Greg?
Yeah, boy. Sorry?
Connor not racing.
We're waiting for power to get come on, so that he's got signal.
Oh, shit. Maybe sending me invite.
Okay, cool. Hopefully Connor can join us, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hey, I need to assign a director. Right, okay, okay.
Joined.
I found Burry in Ireland.
Hey, that's so cool. That's lekker.
So to the Bravotier, welcome.
Go and eat dinner.
Andrew was just showing us a very interesting piece of meat there. Do you want to just show what you've managed to find in Ireland there, Andrew?
Yeah, no, check. I found some Burry.
That is absolutely fantastic. At least you get to enjoy some of the South African pleasures in Ireland. That's absolutely great news. Let's start off with you.
You know how long I've been waiting for this?
How long have you been in Ireland?
A year and a half, and just having Burry now.
So we'll say it has been a while then.
That it has, Dylan.
Let's start off with you, Janaman. Once again, bursting yourself on the podium. You're chasing down Johan VDV early on in the race there, and managed to get past him. We didn't quite see what happened, but we did see that there was a gap of about 7 seconds. So was there a mistake that he made on his side?
Well, I think there was about, as he said, 150 meter gap between us. He actually made a mistake in turn one and he spun off, and that's where I managed to get past. And and the rest of the race just tried to keep the car on track.
No, 100%. An absolute fantastic drive there for you, and another podium for you. Let's go to you, Andrew Ambergonioni. While you are making your dinner in Ireland, I'm assuming, just in terms of the practice, that practice was limited?
I just jumped on this afternoon a little bit, but no, that's no excuse. Andrew Horne was really flying, and it was, there was no way to catch him today.
Not 100%, but we do know that there's going to be some more close racing action coming in the next couple of races. And then Andrew Horne led from start to finish. and another win in the bag.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, it was. I must be honest, Terry was winding me up about race pace a little bit beforehand, and I was actually a bit worried going into it. Turns out he was twisting my arm, and yeah, all the pressure I felt and everything, and the extra practice I did was probably worthwhile.
Now look, as long as you do get the win, and whatever practice you put in is practice at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Was really hoping to have a close battle with Andrew there, but yeah, now I'm just jealous that he's got Burabos and I don't.
Right, guys, awesome. Thank you so much for awesome racing there. We're going to say goodbye, but we're going to now jump to the Alpha tier. I do have Tyler Scott that has joined, who will be joining us in the commentary box. So to Odonis, Andrew and Andrew, thank you so much. Great racing, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Odonis.
Cool, guys. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks
everybody.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Dylan.
Cheers.
I can jump on and broadcast in about 20 minutes if you want.
So we do have Tyler, but if you want to come and talk with us, you're more than welcome.
Where do I join? Do I join on this Discord or
right where you are on the
PlayStation?
Discord? And what I'll do is I'll share the screen so you can see exactly what myself and Tyler are seeing, and I'll be happy to have you.
Okay, let me sort out my buri and then I'll come chat to you later.
And I'm so glad that this is a family show, so we knew exactly what you're talking about.
Cheers.
So Tyler, how do you hear me? So I'm just making sure that the settings are right, guys, so that we can all hear Tyler. See, Tyler has muted himself. So we'll just stick around a little bit. So looking at the lap times, and we have the top 6 drivers separated by 1 second. Marius currently 124.3, followed by Gavin. And Lendl goes and puts in the fastest time, 124.2. Then 0.09 between himself and Marius. Gavin 0.2 behind him. Quicksilver 0.2 behind him. Brandon 0.2 behind him. That is absolutely incredible. So guys, Brandon, thanks so much. Tyler is not talking, but don't worry, as soon as he does come on, we will be able to get him. But all I'm seeing is, even if we add in Robert, who's in 7th place, that is just over 1 second, separating 7 drivers. So now we have Craig, who's now got himself into that second gap. Morris able to go a little bit quicker, but not fast enough. 0.002 between himself and Lendl now. Then Brandon, who's unfortunately, Horne, I have to say this, the fastest heels on the planet here on a Thursday night. This evening you can see 124.3. Gavin, a 124.45. The first 7 drivers, 0.359 of a second. That is how close it is up here in the Alpha tier. So currently in a shot is Gavin, who's currently in 4th place and a 124.4. He now goes quickest, 124.1, and sliding that a Porsche around turn number 1, 0.09 of a second ahead of Lendl. So Gavin, the teammate to Vaughan Hills, the substitute but now taking on the likes of Lendl and Brandon, who are the official Racing Boots team here on this Thursday night. Morris now down in 3rd place, but that 3rd place is 0.10 of a second. We now have 8 drivers within a second of each other. That is how close this racing is going to be here this evening. Just remembering that each driver has to make a pit stop at some point of the race. So part of the strategy, we know that the guys were wanting to pit outside of the traffic to get that clear air ahead of them. Just put the laps in. We'll have to see what strategies are brought into place here with just under 3 minutes left of this qualifying session to go. I think it's going to be an absolute crack of a race. So just getting my notes down so we are able to just keep note of who's doing their pits, where and when. It is absolutely fantastic to see Rudy 0.4 of a second off the leaders. Ashley did say that he was coming here to get some points. He's currently in 7th place, 0.04 as well of a second off the leader. Robert down in 8th place, 0.8. Then it is Craig, a second off. Ross is nearly 1.5 seconds with Sly Pete, 1.8 seconds. And Theo, down in 12th place, is just over 2 seconds away from Gavin, who's put in an absolute cracker. We were expecting to see a couple of 123s in the practice. The guys were saying that it could very well be possible. So to the guys on the stream, I cannot predict a winner. Just looking how close those times are, let us know on the feed, who do you think is going to be taking this round number 2 here at Brands Hatch GP? Absolutely incredibly close up in the front there.
Dylan, we've got Lima in a 23. Sorry, how's it?
Aha, you are back. So yes, thank you so much. I looked down just to update my notebook, and there goes Lendl, 123.9. Gavin, a 124.1, so 0.1 off a second for him. Gavin won't be able to improve on that time, as we see Lendl getting it a little bit wrong. Too much curb there. I'm sure he'll just retire, get their car back into pits. Oh, Morris very, very sideways coming out of the corner there. See, once again, Morris taking that curve. You see how that rear just kicks up the... Once again, just flicking it through. So a message there from Vaughan saying that Gavin is the fastest Gavin on the planet. That's absolutely a cracker. Thanks so much for that, Vaughan. So we're all eyes on Morris as he approaches the start-finish line. Will he improve on that time? And Marius goes quicker, 123.904, so 0.08 of a second ahead of Lendl, who just managed to get himself in that 23. Brandon, he's now coming out of the last corner. He still has an opportunity to improve on his time. As he approaches the line, he will cross. Does he improve? No, he does not. Batala, how close are those times? 123.9, 123.98, 124.1, 124.3, 124.52, 124.55. Extremely close out in the front there.
Yeah, Dylan, the times are close. And unfortunately, we're missing some of the faster guys. I know Jake's missing tonight. Here's a couple of the other guys that weren't able to make it, or load shedding, or something has come up.
Yeah, so we do only have 12 drivers of the 14. So I know that Connor, he's not in here this evening. Just going up the order, we don't have Alex, as well as Jakes, you mentioned already. So as we saw in the Bravo tier, that the guys will be doing a rolling start, and what we found is it just helps with the guys not being four wide going into the corner, and you generally have a much smoother first couple of corners, and it allows the guys to get into the racing and not so much of the bumper cars, so to say. So Daniel's saying that Morris loves to get that rear sideways like Michael likes to do the moonwalk. I cannot agree with you anymore there. So I just want to send out a big thank you to Terry for allowing me to bring the setup at his premises. Bit of a panic moments while we were clashing, trying to get myself into the lobby, and it all seemed to work out in the end there. So thank you so much, Terry. Thank you for your hospitality. So that was the syncing we have been waiting for. We'll flash all the lights there, so you'll see that Amarius will lead the guys away into a formation lap. Then once they across the line, once again we will be racing. Tyler, just from your point of view, do you think that the rolling start does help the guys?
I prefer the standing start, to be honest, but I think the rolling start does just help that there's a little less incidents in the beginning of the race. So from that point of view, and the way we do the rolling start, I think it's better than letting the game do it.
Oh,
because there's usually penalties or all types of things that you're not in control of.
So from next week I will have that generator at the SARCO headquarters. We do have a spare rig there, so if the guys are experiencing load shedding, you're more than welcome to come and set up shop there at the SARCO headquarters. So really looking forward to that. Just seeing who else has joined us on the stream. I'm seeing Christopher Torres. How's it? Welcome. Dane saying Morris for the win. That was to my comment earlier. Let's see who else. Yeah, Horne not happy that he didn't get the invite, Terry, to come and set up his rig here. So we are racing round number 2 at the Alpha tier, and Marius leads the way, going down into turn number 1 with Lendl in second place, Gavin is third, Brandon fourth. Then down in fifth place is Durkee, with Ashley in 6th, Robert 7th, Rudy 8th, then Theo 9th place. He's made up some places. Craig is in 10th, Ross in 11th place, and Sly Pete down in 12th place, who Pete will be joining us in my racing team this coming Saturday, where we will be doing the F400 at the Formula K track in Benoni. Really looking forward to that. But now back to the racing action. Morris leads the guys as they go through Hawthorne. Just need to move this out of the way, because I am using a much reduced setup that I have at home. So everything I have is right in front of me with one screen. Gavin looking for an opportunity to get himself around Lendl, with Morris using all of that runoff coming out of the second last corner. That is through Sterling's. Now the last corner, that is a Clark curve. You see all the drivers going very, very wide there. Long single file as the drivers complete the first lap of the 40-minute race with Brandon. Sorry, not Brandon, it was Gavin. I thought might be having a little look to the inside of Lendl, but not close enough. There, Brandon now starting to get some pressure from Quicksilver behind him. We know him as Durkee. Brandon currently the fastest heels on the planet in 4th place. And it looks like Horne will definitely take up that little move to the inside there. A great move there by Rudy, going on the inside, setting himself up just before they go into Surtees, allowing himself to get ahead of Robert Stoltz. So Rudy now up into 7th place. I see Theo, a little sneaky one there. Didn't quite see him do the pit, but we did have the block where there's a touch. So that was Gavin, who's now dropped down into 11th place. I wasn't sure whether Durkee and Gavin had touched there, but now Durkee up into 5th and Ashley up into 4th place. So he's definitely been able to take advantage of that. I think it would now be the right time for Gavin to go into the pits. But I see him in the background where there's 3 drivers just about side by side. That was Craig moving to the inside there in 6th place. Robert's a little bit wide. Ross is behind him. Will Ross move to the inside there through Druids? Yes, he does. So Robert now, unfortunately, moving down another position. He's now down to 8th, with Ross now moving up into 7th place. But Ross still getting a lot of pressure there from Robert. Robert not completely done with him just yet. And I see Gavin going into the pit, so that is a great move. He might be able to now just recover from that little off that he had experienced earlier on. Get back onto the racetrack, get that damage fixed, and put in those consistent times. Ashley now starting to get lots and lots of pressure from Durkee behind him. So Morris is out in front, 1.1 seconds ahead of Lendl. And Lendl does have his racing partner Brandon Hills right behind him in 3rd place. But we are keeping the action here. This is between Durkee and Ashley. Very different entries into that corner between Ashley and Durkee. Would Durkee look to the inside? Ashley seems to be a little bit too deep, but Ashley will hold his line. Durkee will stay on the inside. They'll now cut through the Graham Hill bend. Now the Surtees, you'll see, is such a tricky corner this, because you are braking into the left-hander. And looking at the pace, the top guys in the mid 124s, is that Ashley now closing up on Lendl. So Lendl's made a mistake, allowing Brandon Hills to go into second place. And that's going to free up Morris in front there. You can see now Morris 6.4 seconds ahead of this battle. And that looks like some damage on the front of Lendl's car. So there's your battle for third, fourth, and fifth place. In the background, that is Craig. Craig doing the same times as Durkee, or they're 0.2 of a second quicker. So at the current rates that Craig is going, he might be able to close up on the back of this pack. As Durkee makes a move on the inside of the Druids there. So Durkee now up into fourth place. He's going to be wanting to chase down Lendl in third. So Tal, I hope you're enjoying this racing action so far.
Yeah, there's some good racing tonight. Looks like it's going to get interesting towards the end and with the pit stops.
Yeah, and I definitely think that Lendl is struggling just a little bit. You can see how both Durkee and Ashley are closing up on the back of him. I do think that it's possibly the right thing to do would be for Lendl to go in pit, get that damage fixed. Otherwise he's going to be watching these guys in his mirror and they're going to be really pushing and trying to close him down. And that's just going to slow all of them up. Just want to look at where Gavin is. So Gavin doing 124.8, so he is currently still one of the quickest on the track. Knowing that he has pitted, just need to see how this race folds later on. Will he be able to close up some of these positions later on in the race? You can see that he is starting to close up on Theo, who is in 11th position. Knowing that Theo has pitted already. But now Durkee looking for an opportunity to get himself around Lendl. Durkee has a little show with him going through Westfield. Oh, Lendl getting that rear a little bit loose there. So that's 2 places Lendl will now lose to both Durkee and Ashley into the Sheen Curve. So Lendl now down into 5th place, and if I were Lendl, I would be getting myself into the pits now, get that car repaired, and then focus on fighting back later on in the race.
And Ashley also managed to get past
I see that.
Durkee there.
But now Durkee will have a little look now into turn number 1. That's very close. No, Lendl loses the rear. And Lendl just seems to get himself into these situations. He puts in an absolutely blinder of a qualifying, get him into the race, and it's just these little mistakes every now and again that creep through. And Lendl just doesn't convert those points. So just a quick recap now with 28 minutes left to go. Morris is ahead, 8.3 seconds ahead of Brandon. Then it is Ashley in 3rd place, who has got Durkee all over the back of him. Craig is up into 5th with Ross, who started down in... Ross was in 10th place. He's got himself up into 6th. Lendl down into 7th place with Robert in 8th. Rudy's down in 9th. We've got Pete in 10th with Theo in 11th place and Gavin in 12th position. But Gavin starting to close up on Theo, 15 or 16 seconds between them now. But where all the action is currently hot and happening is between Durkee and Ashley. So a little bit of damage on the front of Ashley's car. And you can see Ashley and Durkee are crossing the line just about a .01 and of a second. And so some messages coming through from Vaughan Hills saying that he can't concentrate for more than 10 minutes. And that was for Lendl. And that's clearly what we can see, but definitely something we are going to need to work on him. So the current battle is for third place, and Ashley getting it very wrong. So Dirkie will try and go around the outside. Not enough space here. I think Ashley didn't realize that he was coming so quickly. You can see Ashley getting a not a really good exit. Dirkie trying to go out around the outside. So this is going to be where Ashley's going to need to just reset. He is going to have Dirkie closing up on him and trying to add that pressure. But Dirkie just needs to just keep calm, keep hitting those braking markers, those turning points. Dirkie has a look to the inside. Ashley's a little bit wide. Dirkie side by side as they exit out of Druids. Craig going to the pits. You can see two very different lines between both these guys, but it looks like Dirkie got the better exit. So this was where Ashley got it a little bit wrong, turned in just a little bit too soon. And there in the background, that was Brandon, who's currently in second place. Just about 10 seconds ahead in the first place is Marius. They'll now come into the last corner. Oh, Dirkie. Lots of curb on the inside. And as soon as I saw that, I thought that that might be a little bit of trouble. So a little bit of breathing space now for Ashley between himself and Dirkie. We can just scan down the order. I see that if we just jump to exactly well spotted in the background, that is Sly Pete driving in the colors of the Green Mambas. Really awesome to see that. But Peter Hardeman trying to close up on the back of Rudy. Rudy very happy to have qualified here for the Alpha tier, where Sly Pete was promoted, having won the Formula Renault 3.5 V8 series in our previous season. And here he is currently in 9th place, and we will get to see him racing this coming Saturday in the go-kart, where he does join my team Fun Times. So we'll see what he has got on the real circuit. Well, I'll say real circuit, but the kart circuit at the Formula K. So if we just jump to 5th and 6th, I see Lendl and Ross are having a little battle there. So Lendl in 5th place is being chased by the Cat. So Ross is back, our Scottish international. Just see as they cross the line, 125 to 127 for Ross. So I think it was Ross who made a mistake, and that's allowed Lendl to move up that position. So we know some of the other teams that will be there is Terry Wolford will be there in his kart. With all we know is his nickname as the Mexican, and he'll be driving with Andrew Horne. And then the Vaughan Hills brothers will be the Racing Brits. I wish it was Formula 4000, but it is just the Formula F400 Vaughan. So we will be able to go head to head in some real world racing. And I just want to put it out there for now, as I am carrying a little bit more kilograms than I should. So I'll probably have about an extra 6 kilos to where some of the other guys will measure that weight to the 100th of a kilogram, or to the 100 grams, where I'm not so fortunate. I just carry that weight and make up for it in pure talent. So the racing puts on the F400 will be Horne, Brandon and Lendl. That is going to be absolutely a cracker of a team. So Dirkie is still trying to close down Ashley. So while Dirkie did make that mistake, he has been able to close up that gap. So Ashley is going to be feeling that pressure once again. So this is where we know Dirkie has been really quick, and I'm sure Ashley will be watching those mirrors, going a little bit wide through. Where's where Dirkie moves to the inside? That's not going to work as it goes through Sheen. Dirkie now putting lots of pressure coming through Sterling's. Now into the last corner. It was at this corner where Dirkie hit that inside curb. Ashley decides, let's rather not keep up with this. Ashley goes into the pit, and that's going to now free up Dirkie in front. So far we've had Gavin, Ash, Craig and Theo having their pits. So Marius just over 10.5 seconds. In the background, Robert Salt's getting it a little bit wrong, going down into the Graham Hill bend. And it looks like Lendl's been able to extend that lead from Ross. And every little lap, Lendl's been able to just pull in a couple of hundredths of a second. That's Rudy on the infield there. So we'll see Rudy now dropping down behind. No, he didn't. So I think that's Rudy now being lapped by Ashley. And just behind him is Sly Pete. So that actually was positions, because Rudy was ahead of Sly Pete. And remember that Ashley had gone into the pits. So that's worked out very well there for Ashley, and not being stuck behind these two drivers. So 20 minutes to go. We are halfway through, and this is where we're going to start seeing some of the pit strategies coming into play. Gavin has some more damage on that car. He's down in 11th place. With that bumper, and nothing that a little bit of duct tape can't fix. So there we have Rudy now coming into the pits to take his mandatory pit stop. So Craig down in 8th place. In terms of his lap times, he is just about a couple of hundredths of a second slower than the guys up in front. But we still have Marius putting in the 124s as a race pace. That is absolutely incredible. So thank you, Tyler, for jumping to Marius, our current race leader, halfway through. 18 minutes left. Marius driving in his customary black and yellow. You know what it is. Silverback colors. which is the only car I've really seen Marius drive in throughout his time that he has been with us here at SARCO. So Dirkie into the pits now. So Tyler, see that Ashley's now got himself ahead of Dirkie. Dirkie now in 7th place, and only 3 seconds between himself and Ashley. And there's Dirkie, Pete, and Ashley. So we know that Pete is currently out of sync because he would still need to pit. Vaughan, I'm taking that point because now I know that that song is in your head and you're going to be singing it for the rest of the week. Tyler, if you could just drop down to Sly Pete, just want to see how close Dirkie is behind him. So I'm sure Pete will be watching his mirrors now. And there's Craig in the background, so Craig's starting to close down on these guys as well. Is this the time where Pete decides no, he doesn't go into the pits? So he will now have to deal with there's Ross taking his mandatory pit stop now here on a lap in number 17, and Pete just gets out the way, realizing he's not racing against Dirkie. He'll now free up Dirkie to go and chase down Ashley. Ashley now going down the Graham Hill. So funny how they did that. So down in 9th place, that is 9th place is Theo. I don't know why I wanted to say 19th place, but that is Theo. And Theo extremely quick on Assetto Corsa. So we see Vaughan Hills has got his power and he's asking now whether he can join. I'm happy to give everybody a quick restart, but unfortunately I'm not the host, Vaughan, so I cannot make that call. So Robert Stoltz down in 11th place. Then we jump to Gavin, who's in 12th position. Really playing with that outside curb on that last corner. There's a Dirkie in a 5th place. He's got 2 seconds to catch up the man on the screen now, Ashley. So both Brandon and Morris still needing to pit. And at 12, well, that's now 13 seconds between the race leader Morris and Brandon Hills. And Robert still needs to pit, so does Pete.
Actually, Robert has pitted already.
Okay, I didn't know that, so...
Sorry, Dylan.
No problem. I knew who you were talking to. So there goes Lendl into the pits. So let's see that distance. So he is probably going to slot in between Craig and Ross down in about 7th place. So we'll be keeping my eye on that as we can already start seeing him dropping down the order. And there goes slightly into the pits now as well. So that could actually bring Ross into play now. So he's 9 seconds there. So the timing you can see is just jump out of sync. So it's not quite going to give us the picture that we wanted. But now as the guys start heading into that last 10 minutes of the race with, I'd say in 2 minutes time they'll head into the last 10 minutes. You can see the sun starting to go down. The track will start cooling off. And this is where the cars are going to start feeling like they're on a bit of soap. Going to get extremely slippery out there as Morris locks up going up into Druids. So Lendl managing to keep himself ahead of Ross. So I thought that he would drop down between 7th and 8th place, but only dropped down 3 places. So Lendl now into 6th with Craig 10 seconds ahead of him. But it is Ashley who's going to have the toughest time with Dirkie starting to close him down. But Tyler, I think what's happened is now that Ashley has got that front damage fixed, I think that's allowed him to go a little bit quicker, a little bit more consistently, because while we're seeing damage now, I don't think that he will still be carrying that. I think he would have got that damage fixed in the pits.
Yeah, it does seem like he's managed to pick up his times and keep Dirkie away. But we'll see as the race goes on. Coming back to the pits, what do you think Marius' strategy would be?
He'll
quick stop and go, or tires, or
he'll splash and dash. I don't think that. Dirkie going very wide there, coming out of Surtees. You can see he's lost a lot of time there between himself and Ashley. So just about 4 seconds gap now. So there's a Brandon Hills, the fastest Hills in the planet, on a Thursday night. He goes into the pits. And yes, Daniel, I did steal that make it feel like soap. I did see you mention that earlier. So Pete rejoins in 8th position. He's got 6 seconds to catch down our Scottish International Ross in 7th place. So, can't remember whose car that is now. I think that's Ross. Could that be that Ross in 7th place has just been lapped by Morris? It is Ross too. I suppose if I just looked at the name, it would have made things a lot clearer. But you can see Ross getting out the way, allowing Morris to go past. Morris is our race leader. So lap number 22, just under 10 minutes to go. And Morris definitely has this race well under control. Between 2nd and 3rd place, there's 5 seconds there. Between 3rd and 4th, there is 4 seconds there. Then we've got Craig, who is 6 seconds further down the field. Then that is 8 seconds to Lendl. So while the field is a little bit stretched out, is that the differences are not that big.
Ellen, when do you think Mario should go in, or when do you think he's gonna go in?
Well, he should be doing it probably in the next lap or so, but we have always known that Morris does like to pit very late, puts in the efforts right up front, and then that allows him to manage his race accordingly. So 8 minutes, so I would expect him to come in on this lap. He now has that 41-second lead ahead of Brandon. So we know that I think it was about 33 seconds in the earlier race, and 33 seconds wasn't enough. No, it was enough. 33 seconds was enough. Apologies. So that's Lendl in 6th place, who has also now been lapped by Marius. But Lendl doing a 1:39. That's quite a big time there. I think he might have made a little mistake there. And to the guys for the racing boots, I think BMT is what you need to start working on, Lendl, specifically on these 40-minute races. So that is Sly Pete in 8th place, and that is Theo in 9th position. So these two guys are fighting for a place with 7 minutes left to go of this race. And Ashley has just lost a second to Dirkie on that previous lap. Dirkie now closed that gap into 3 seconds now. And that is Roberts. You can see just ahead of them, he is chasing down Rudy. So those two guys that were at the top of the screen, they're still fighting for a position. Robert getting a much better drive. So he will move to the inside. Rudy's going to have to let him go through coming into the last corner. And there you see Rudy doesn't shut that door, allows him to go through. And now Ashley's going to have these two guys to contend with in front. And then in the background, that is Dirkie. See, Ashley crosses the line. He does a 1:25.4. Dirkie 1:25.1. So 0.3 of a second, he's now closed up. Rudy allows Ashley to go past. So 5 minutes left. And Morris able to extend that gap by yet another second, and there we go. Morris is in the pits. I think Dirkie made a little mistake because I'm seeing that gap is back to 4 seconds. So it might have just been a little bit of a slap of the rear. And I must say that Ashley's closing down Brandon Hills. So I see Morris now coming out. So that was only 20 seconds for that stop and go there for Morris. I'll say stop and go, but a little splash, put in that 1 liter of fuel, and off he goes again. So he has got a 20-second advantage with 5 minutes to go. And Brandon, if he's not careful, is going to have Ashley fighting for that second place. Because looking at the previous lap times, Brandon 1:28.2, Ashley 1:26.0. And Ashley has got stuck behind Robert there. So there, Robert moving to the inside, but I think Ashley and Robert will be side by side. So Ashley is now through. And now Rudy, he's on the comeback trying to chase down Robert once again. So Brandon has 2.5 second lead over Ashley with under 4 minutes left to go. So we'll have 2 and a bit laps, I think. It all depends on where Morris is. I see he's on his 26th lap, 20 seconds, so we might have 2 more laps. But now Brandon's starting to hold that gap between himself and Ashley. So Brandon crosses the line and his time is a 1:25.8, Ashley 1:26.1, so losing out some time there. So 2 laps left of this race. Maybe 3. Oh, there goes Pete. into the wall. That's allowed Theo to go past. And we had absolutely nothing to do with that, Tyler, just for the record. Is that we weren't talking about him. We just happened to flick the camera to him and watch him lose the rear. So Theo up now into 8th place. Pete down into 9th.
Is your host a little bit noisy there, Dylan?
Say that again?
I'm asking, is your host a little bit noisy there in the background?
Yeah, he did distract me just for a second there. Because what he's seeing versus what I'm seeing is there's about a 2.5 second delay there. So Brandon going very sideways into the last corner. That's going to allow Ashley to go through. And if Brandon's not careful, there goes Dirkie. So Dirkie now is going to go around the outside of Trudes. So Dirkie now up into 3rd place. Brandon now down into 4th. No! I did not expect that. So I believe we will be on the final lap with that's Morris 30 seconds ahead. So we will have one more lap after this. This will be the final lap because there's still 43 seconds left. So Morris is now on the final lap, and now it has everything to fight for between Brandon and Dirkie. So this is the fight for the last spot on the podium. Ashley is away. Just in front there in the red car, that is Robert Stoltz. He is down in 10th place. But we are looking at the final position on the podium. And it is the blue car. There he is. That is Dirkie with Brandon Hills half a second behind him. This is the final lap. The time is now completely run down. Robert getting very well out of the way and not wanting to be involved with that this challenge through the Graham Hill curve. And Dirkie starting to open up a little bit of a gap there. It was half a second. It's now just about a second. And I'm sure Brandon is kicking himself in his cockpit. So all Dirkie needs to do is just keep it on the black stuff. There's a little bit of curb there. That could have not worked out for him. So Marius has completed the race. We did miss him crossing the line. So a great drive there for Marius. Absolutely flawless. There's your second place driver, Ashley. He has one more corner to go. So Ashley did say he wanted to get some points. Well, there he is, putting it on the podium. And a race to the finish. Dirkie is able to capitalize from that mistake from Brandon Hills. Dirkie finishes in 3rd, with Brandon in a 4th place. Craig in 5th. Lendl in a 6th position. We have Ross, who does have a time penalty. But he does have more than 10 seconds ahead of Theo in 8th, Sly Pete in 9th, Robert in 10th, Rudy in 11th place, and then Gavin down in a 12th position. Well, there you have it, the final positions for the Alpha tier. And man, oh man, oh man. let's just go get those invites out to the guys so they can come and join us. I think what we need to do is definitely, let's just take that off.
Hey, Ashley!
Okay, guys, so we are just getting the guys into the interview box, and yes, Dirkie, I can hear you. Ashley, we weren't able to hear you. We just wanted to get.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Maybe just turn your mic on.
Yeah, it's on.
We just wanted to get Brandon in here as well as Marius, our race winner.
Dylan, Marius asked, he's not going to be part of the interviews. He's not feeling well this evening.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Tyler, thank you very much for that. Yes, we do know that Marius wasn't well, so we do wish him a very speedy recovery. Well, hopefully we do get Brandon in here because we do have some questions that we'd like to ask him. And I'm sure the second fastest heels on the planet has some questions for him too. Okay, so he hasn't joined. So just waiting for Brandon. There he is there. Welcome.
Thanks.
Brandon, I'd like to start off with you. You almost got yourself on a podium, sitting in second place. Some of the comments that were coming through on the stream were saying that it looks like there was soap on the track. Is that what you felt in those last couple of laps?
I actually felt that on the first couple of laps. I was struggling very, very badly on the first couple of laps. Everyone behind me, I think I was keeping him up for a bit. But then the sun did come out and we were going a bit forward. After that, it just became slippery and more slippery and more slippery. And then on lap 26, I think I spun, and Ash and these guys just came past. Dirkie was there behind me as well.
Yep.
But it was a good, fun race. It was nice. I wasn't the fastest this weekend or this day, but yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there again.
Don't worry, Brandon. You saw the fastest heels on the planet on a Thursday night.
That's the one.
But we do have a plan for Horne going forward. So if he does have some load shedding, we will be able to help him. So he'll be able to prove me otherwise. Let's go to you, Dirkie. Third position for you. An absolute crack of a battle between yourself and Ashley, and it was just about the whole 40 minutes, and the two of you were on each other.
Yes, man. I actually managed to get him on one corner, and on the next corner I made a mistake and he just came back again, and I knew I'm in trouble there because it's so difficult to pass on this track. And I was trying to give him a gap and go again and give him a gap and go again to try and make him nervous, but he was just on it tonight. He didn't make a mistake. So the little mistake he made, he joined the track. I had a little bump on him. I had a little bit of damage in front, but it's no hard feelings there. I'm happy with that. It was still a very good race, and I enjoyed it so much. Good luck. Well done, Ashley. I really had a proper race there. Well done.
No, awesome. And then Ashley, you did say that you'd like to get some points this evening, and I was really riling you up in the beginning, and I suppose that's to say, Dylan, here's a coconut for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just wanted to prove a point that I could. And yes, but I had a fantastic battle with quite a few drivers, especially Dirkie Cheespers. I was sweating. He came past me, and then we got stuck. I think it was behind Brandon, and then it was Lindell, yeah. And then Lindell made a mistake, and we got past, and then I think a couple of quarters later, Dirkie made a slight mistake, and then I just missed him, and we got past, and then we were fighting neck and neck, and obviously everybody saw it on the stream, but it was a fantastic race, and towards the end, all I did is I turned off my rear view mirror, because I didn't want to see him catch me, because I knew he was quick. But I thought if I just turn my rear view mirror off and I just concentrate what's ahead of me and forget what's behind me, and that's what I did. And then when I looked again, he wasn't behind me anymore. So yeah, fantastic race.
No, absolutely 100%. And unfortunately, our race winner Morris not here, not feeling well for the post-race interviews. So Morris, we do wish you an absolute speedy recovery. And then Brandon, just one last comment to you. I think just going forward, your teammate, I think it's time to just work on some BMT. Absolutely crackers of us qualifying, but then just not able to convert that into the race.
Yeah, exactly what you said. The BMT needs to get together and they need to practice on the long distance haul. But I do know they fasten the cart, and on the weekend we're coming for you guys.
Yeah. I have already said all my excuses to say that I'm carrying a few extra kilos, so I do carry 6 kilograms more than what is expected, but I am happy to take that as a challenge.
Let's do it. Thanks, guys, and well done to you guys, and well done to Marius.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We are looking forward to next week, where next week we take on Laguna Seca. That's going to be an absolute cracker with a 40-minute, once again, with that one pit stop mandatory. But until then, guys, all I can say is thank you so much. Thank you once again to our sponsors, Thrustmaster, for allowing us to put this all together, as well as to Terry for allowing me into his house. Terry, thank you so much. There he is in the background.
Thanks, Terry.
For giving me that connection. But we do have that generator coming next week. So I will be a little bit better prepared. So, guys, until then, keep racing, keep practicing, and thanks for watching. Yos.
Cheers. Thanks, gents.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dylan.
Oh, Tyler, sorry. Thank you. You as well, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler.
Cool.
Thanks, Tyler. Thank you so much.